McDonald. I'm the volunteer coordinator at the stop, and I've been in the position for 2.5 years.
Great. Can you tell us a bit about the size and the scope of the volunteer program at the stop?
Sure. We have currently 300 volunteers, and they are placed across 17 different programs at the stop. And last year we had a tally of around 27,000 volunteer hours.
Great. The stop operates at 2 sites, and I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about the difference in terms of the engagement and the volunteer opportunities and the way that the program works at each of the sites.
Sure. They are quite different. At 1884 we have the food bank and the drop-in meal program, and it's in a location that is in a food desert, and there's a lot of people living in that neighbourhood who are living in poverty, maybe have challenges with mental health and addictions. So the programs that we run there are very much, the emergency food bank program, providing meals for people 4 times a week, breakfast and lunch. We have the kitchen that cooks the meal. We have Healthy Beginnings running out of there for women who are pregnant or new mums to support them. So mostly the volunteer positions are not high skill. What we really need are people who will come and keep coming, come regularly. But we also need a lot of people. So we've got 60 people helping to run our drop-in meal program. We have another 40 helping to run our food bank, and quite a sizable number of people working in the kitchen as well. So what I do there is I have a volunteer information session once a month, and we bring people in through that and recruit people for those positions. At the Witchwood Barnes location on Christie, we operate the after-school program, the education program. We have the greenhouse there, and some community kitchens as well. Those programs can tend to need people who have some previous experience. So we're really looking for people who have experience working with children, who feel confident facilitating groups, people who are happy to work one-on-one with people who might have mental health problems and really create that very supportive environment for them. So we're really looking for people who can, speak to those kind of skills. So what I tend to do there is I advertise the positions on our website, and then I'm asking people to call me, and I do a phone screening. So I'll run through a series of questions that are particular to the program they're interested in, and if they, sort of pass muster with me at a basic level, then I have them send an outline of their experience to the coordinator. The coordinator ultimately gets to interview them and have final say on who they'll take in those programs.
You've talked about some of the volunteer positions that are available. I wonder if you could elaborate, for example, with the drop-in and with the food bank,
Sure.
What those individual positions look like within those programs.
Yeah. Okay. In the drop-in, primarily we need people who can help with simple food preparation. We set up the space in the morning. They'll be making the toast, the oatmeal for the morning, boiling eggs perhaps, chopping up fruits. So we try to make as nutritious a getting start of the day kind of meal we can. And then we lay the tables, so we actually do food service to the tables. We try to make it as kind of respectful and pleasant an environment as possible. So then serving out and then doing cleanup. So that's sort of a nice job for 4 hours. It's busy, but it's kind of entirely manageable for most people. In the drop-in, we also have, extraordinarily, we have 2 dishwashers for every single shift we have in the drop-in, and we have the most amazing team of people who just come and do dishes for 4 hours. We always put them in pairs so that they've got company while they're doing it, and they're just extraordinarily good. It's hard to find, but yeah, they do a great job. We have also cooks who come in. So on 2 days of the week, the chef actually cooks with a team of volunteers, a big team of volunteers, and they're making meals for up to 200 people for the hot lunch. On the 2 other days, they're called a snack day, but we were concerned about the nutritional value, so we've actually created a team of really kind of kitchen confident people to come in, and there might be four of them, and they will see what's around, what's left over, what's in the fridge and freezer, and actually put something together. It might be a simple soup and salad, but it can be actually quite an extensive meal. And they do that in just a turnaround of, a couple of hours, and then help with the cleanup. So that also is a drop-in position. In the food bank, we have 3 positions. We have the food handlers who help stock the shelves, who help bag up rice, beans, rolled oats. We have a second shift who actually distribute the food to people, so it's a very personal one-on-one position. And then we have the people on the front desk, which is probably the most challenging. It's simply preparing a sheet for each person who comes in, but you need to be able to explain the rules and do so in a really diplomatic and respectful way, because you're dealing with people who are coming because they're hungry, so often that can be quite a point of tension. But they do a very good job at guiding people as to where they can go to get food if they're not, getting all of the food they need from us. So it's quite a variety in terms of, the different people who might be appropriate to fill the different roles.
What are some of the most popular positions?
The kitchen is extraordinarily popular. We get a lot of foodies. Toronto is a real foodie town, and people who come to us from the internet, who've seen our site and know about the stop, get very excited about helping to cook in the kitchen, especially because they're cooking with a chef, and they've seen the programs on TV and they're like, oh, really, let me do that. But just as much, a lot of people want to join our garden and our greenhouse program. I have a lot of people who are really interested in working with the children. They feel very strongly about what we're working on, and they really want to share that.
Are there positions that are hard to fill, or more unpopular positions?
It's up until just recently, it was so hard to get dishwashers who would stay. And there are some positions I would never actually seek a volunteer to do. We tried very hard to have a handyman volunteer, and it does not work. It does not work. So, yeah.
Interesting. What would be the length of your longest standing volunteer?
Oh, we have volunteers who've actually been involved with us for 15 years, and I'm very proud to say that. I have a core of Italian women who come, the mamas, and they've been with us for a very, very long time. They bring their espresso with them on a Wednesday morning and sit down and have their drink to start. It's really, really lovely.
That's great. Do you outreach to find these volunteers?
I do not outreach whatsoever.
And what is it that attracts people then to the stop? When people come in and you ask them why they came, what is it that pulls them in?
Since I've been at the stop, it's always had a very high profile. Every time we have a newspaper article or an appearance on television, I get a flood of people. And I think it's because food is really a sexy thing in this town. People really are hooked into the sustainable food, sort of idea, and also people are really wanting to help, and they like the idea of grassroots community work. There's a lot of people now who are training in the field of sustainable agriculture and chefs and things like that, and they come to us because they're wanting that experience, and to be frank, they're probably wanting a job, but they start as volunteers, which is exactly what I did, so good strategy.
And how often, I'm not sure if there's a real statistic for this, but how often does that happen? Do volunteers frequently then come into becoming employees at the stop?
It's a really good way of getting to know somebody and knowing what they're really like. So you don't just see them on their good day in their interview, you see them, under pressure, and, you can just see a work ethic and also an ability to sort of step in and create things in the space. It's a very good way.